Aquarius, hello. Welcome to Coffee Sage and Tarot. This is going to be your monthly reading for May 2025. Please do keep in mind that these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and reverse any energies as you see fit. Okay, we're not doing a spread today. We're just going to see what cards Spirit has and what messages Spirit has for you, okay? Show me Aquarius, please, for the month of May 2025. Show me Aquarius, please, for the month of May 2025. Show me Aquarius. Show me Aquarius, please. Thank you. Last time, what does Aquarius have in store for May? Thank you. Your indicator card here, the King of Wands. Alrighty. So this month, the month of May, Aquarius, is all about taking decisive action here and being ready to act. So a lot of quick thinking will be going to benefit you for this month. All right. Okay, let's see. So we have the Two of Wands on this side here, kind of separate and apart from everything happening on this side of the board. It seems like decision time. Okay, Page of Wands here. Having the knowledge and getting ready to take this action here. This feels like you preparing yourself to take some sort of action. With the Six of Cups to the Eight of Cups to the Page of Wands and that Knight of Cups kind of overseeing it all, having that conversation with the King. This kind of feels like we're assessing some sort of feelings surrounding a situation here, potentially walking away from that situation or seeing like what elements of this situation no longer fit, gaining that new knowledge and taking that knowledge into consideration by knowing what, like doing that self-reflection, right? That's why that Knight is overseeing this work here. And then kind of deciding from there, okay, where am I going? What am I doing? Ace of Pentacles in the shadow with Death here. So there seems to be a real possibility in your physical landscape that is going to spur this change. This self-reflection in itself does feel like change. It feels like this is something that will be transforming you, heading into May here. And so it feels like that's why this Death card, Scorpio energy, is popping up, because the opportunity is yours to take in the physical, but will also show you some internal changes taking place this May, Aquarius. Okay. Let's go ahead and see some further clarifiers for Aquarius. Show me some clarifiers for Aquarius for the month of May. Okay, anything else here? Okay. Alrighty, so the Three of Swords in reverse, that's actually really lovely. It does seem like you're releasing something here. Okay, and that's kind of spurring this change. So you're letting go, right? And it feels like something that you've been holding on to for some time. You made a decision to finally let this go. Once you do let it go, Nine of Cups here. Personal achievement, sitting in your success, sitting in your happiness here. That achievement is just for you. So really celebrating your win on a personal level, or celebrating where you are, right? So not like a goal achieved, but like celebrating where you sit. Okay. and that kind of personal achievement, success, happiness there. Okay, we've got Four of Wands on this side. Yeah, I think this makes sense because whatever it is that you're kind of releasing or walking away from here, it does have to do with your foundations. And so with these wands, the 4 and the 2, it feels like you are kind of going back to basics or something that is kind of within your foundations, right? Bare bones, right? So we're changing some sort of aspect of that or releasing some sort of aspect, some sort of component, perhaps that you've held on to for some time. Once you release it, though, you are looking really nice. You're looking very happy about that decision to let that go. But you're kind of like questioning, okay, well, it's kind of a little uncertain of what your foundation is or what it consists of. Like it's TBD a little bit, right? And it doesn't seem like a huge, like, we're rocking the boat, your whole foundation is coming to crumble here. I'm not seeing that. It's just more like you're doing some renos here. And so, you know, you're just making some home improvements kind of deal. Okay. King of Swords in the reverse. And again, this does feel like whatever it is that you're releasing is something that you've held on to for some time. Okay, so the fact of the King of Reverse, the Master of your suit coming in the reverse, not necessarily interpreting this to be a bad thing. It just feels like whatever knowledge and wisdom you were kind of relying on, you are releasing some sort of part of that and not really sure what's taking its place. You just know this needs to be not with you any longer. Also, the fact that the King of Swords is kind of flipped directly by this King of Wands. It feels like you are leaning more into that fire element, that wand element, right? Taking decisive action here, knowing what needs to be done, being quick to act here, a little bit quicker than normal, kind of maybe trusting your gut instincts here, especially with that Knight of Cups coming into the picture, right? So it feels like almost it's not the time for your mind to take over. It's time for your gut instincts to be relied upon. Okay, we do have the Queen of Swords in the shadow, and she seems to be guiding you in the right direction here. That Knight of Pentacles and Death. Yeah, so you are, it feels like eyes wide open, heading into some change and transformation here. Again, with that Pentacle energy, right? As we had the Ace of Pentacles and the Death here. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles with Death here. So it feels very grounded. Whatever this change and transformation is, it does feel like Aquarius, not only do you see it coming, especially with the Queen kind of preceding on the shadow clarifier spread here, but also this feels very practical. Right? It feels like this is the logical thing to be happening here. You're releasing something, you're letting go of perhaps past thought patterns, past thought beliefs, and something that was kind of you were holding onto for quite some time. And now you're letting it go. And it's because of the nature of whatever this is that you're leaving behind, it is changing you. And you feel like that is just the logical next step here. Okay. Let's see if we can get some more information for Aquarius. Show me more information for Aquarius, please. A little bit more clarifiers for Aquarius for the month of May. Okay. Alrighty. So the Five of Pentacles popping out here. Perhaps this has something to do with you walking away from something physically, or you have a physical, like, so there's an emotional component to it, but perhaps there's also a physical component, as in this is in your physical landscape. You are physically walking away from something or physically leaving something, okay? And that's what is going to bring you more happiness in the long run. Three of Pentacles showing up in the shadow. You're walking away from something, perhaps leaving something behind to transition into something new, something a little bit smoother here with that Six of Swords, right? Potential to overthink it with that Nine of Swords, but I feel like That's just kind of your process of understanding full picture ideas here. So you need to see kind of, sorry, with that Nine of Swords showing up, you need to see everything, right? You need to, like, uncertainty is not something that you do. So it does make sense that a little bit of anxiety will pop up if you don't understand the full picture of what you're heading into, right? And even if you have a good grasp on it, it does make sense that because you're not seeing the whole picture clearly or not seeing completely 1000% how this can transpire, it does make sense that there's a little bit of nervous energy in there, okay? Seven of Wands in the reverse, kind of, again, reflecting, if you will, that Two of Wands. So the decision needs to be made, and, there's nothing really getting in your way. There's nothing that is confusing to you. The path is clear, okay? The fog has lifted. You're not really getting caught up in, confusing emotions, competing or conflicting ideals. It's almost like you know what needs to be done and nothing's going to stop you. You're showing up very determined here, okay? Temperance on its side, a little bit of Sagittarian energy. Perhaps your balance is off, and that's why you're working to kind of course correct here, right? Either way, it does feel like this is something that has been attached to you, or you were attached to it for some time. And if time is not resonating, it feels like it's a deeper attachment, right? A deeper feeling, a deeper commitment here that you're potentially choosing to walk away from, Aquarius, okay? Let's see here. Anything else for Aquarius, please? Anything else for Aquarius? Anything else for Aquarius, please? Oh, okay. All right. So the Six of Pentacles flew up across the board and landed sideways. Yeah, and again, this just does feel like, because you are in a period of transition here, you're sorting out what you're giving your attention to, where your priorities are. It feels like you're sorting that out, right? Because your foundations are kind of not firm. And that's, again, not to say that you're expecting things to crumble or expecting this big kind of tower to come in. That's not it. It's just you're under construction, right? You're doing renos. Let's stick with that analogy there. So because you're doing renos, you're not sure what other things are going to be popping up potentially. So you're not sure where your energy needs to be going here, right? And so you're kind of sorting that out. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Hermit and the Two of Pentacles. To keep with the twos here, we've got also that Two of Wands that popped up initially. I'm not seeing this as hesitation, or I'm not seeing this as something, or you're stopping yourself from, kind of walking away from this and kind of feeling happy after you've released it. I'm seeing this more as, okay, we've released and we've walked away from whatever this Three of Swords is reversed, right? We've done that work, and now we're kind of open, which is interesting because she's crossed, right, over her heart chakra. Kind of open here to what is next. In terms of, yes, your King of Wands is ready to take decisive action here, but there feels like a pause between releasing this energy and whatever component of your life this is, and almost in a holding pattern to see where you should direct your energy next, right? So the work, Aquarius, for May feels like you're figuring it out, okay? And you're not quickly, the good thing is that you're not quickly hopping from, okay, I've released this, now I'm moving on to this. You're allowing a bit of a pause in there to kind of see, first of all, how you feel, which is lovely. How you're adapting to losing this aspect of your life, right? And kind of saying, okay, it's almost like you're making way for this change to happen. And your King of Wands, you're kind of standing on guard, ready to act, but you understand that this change and transformation needs to happen first. So you're showing up here like, I'm ready, right? You're ready to receive the change. Hermit showing up, Virgo energy here, this idea of trusting where you've been, internalizing that wisdom, internalizing the journey, understanding your past in order to move forward into the future. So again, it does feel like you are taking a pause here to allow this this change to almost take effect here, right? You're pausing so that these renos can be completed. If you want to kind of stick with that analogy, right? The High Priestess showing up in the shadow here. Yeah, like trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust that you know what's best here, trust that you know what you're doing for you. And if there is any doubt that comes up, just remember that High Priestess energy, right? Remember that you are doing what you need to do, and following the course that you feel is best for you in this life, right? And that's all anyone can do with full understanding and open heart. Let's see here. Any final thoughts for Aquarius? Any final thoughts for Aquarius, please? Any final thoughts for Aquarius? Last time, any final thoughts for Aquarius, please? Thank you. Okay. So here we've got the Five of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and then the Ten of Pentacles. So whatever the emotional connection here, it's like emotional, but it's also physical, right? So it feels like, again, whatever this aspect is quite important. And losing it is important, but also opening yourself up to the possibility of something else is just as important. So with the Five of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Ten of Cups here, it feels like there is some sort of acceptance that's happening, some sort of grieving of this loss, which is nice and, healthy to see. Ace of Wands, similar to that Ace of Pentacles here, the opportunity, right, to kind of become reinvigorated here, right? This is, again, like grounded, practical. In your physical landscape, this is more internal, right? Kind of getting fired up about what's happening, getting fired up about this new potential here for happiness, for success, from a more emotional stance, from a place where you can really, that Nine of Cups energy, right? Sitting good, really feeling good, and wanting to share that feel good energy with the people around you that you love and trust, right? Ten of Pentacles as well. So not only sharing that kind of love and trust and those happy feels, but some sort of personal success and achievement directly tied to that, okay? So the two really seem to go hand in hand, the feels and the success. The journeys seem tied, at least in this particular juncture with this particular thing. And that's, really nice. It seems like you're letting go of something, and it could perhaps, be some sort of emotional component that you thought of yourself that you no longer think, and you're letting that go, kind of a limiting belief. Could be that, right? And by letting that go, you're kind of open to what is ahead. with the understanding that there is some change and transformation and renos to yourself and your core beliefs and your core values that's happening because you're letting go of that limiting belief that you've held on to for some time. And with that, you will achieve success. You will achieve that happiness that you were looking for that was kind of lacking, right? But in order to get to that kind of happy ending, that's end of that cycle, there are some hard truths that need to be rectified. So that could be it, right? Just as an example, okay? Let's see what advice Spirit has for Aquarius heading into May. Oh, okay. We've got 18. Stop and breathe. Reality is shaped by what we believe. Take a deep breath, reassess, and realign. Let go of what doesn't help the situation. If you are in a situation where you find that others are operating out of fear, defensiveness, ego, and short-term gain, use this card to remind yourself that you don't have to follow their example. Take a moment to step back, find your breath, and allow a new perspective to take shape. Bringing attention to our breathing is a way of carving out a quiet moment for ourselves amid external chaos or pressure. The movement in our lungs puts focus back around our chest and heart center. Awareness of the quality of our breath, how deep, how slow, how steady, gives us a chance to choose calm for our inner state no matter what's going on around us. Such moments are good for reminding ourselves that, like lotus blossoms that bloom above muddy waters, we too can thrive amid negativity, lower energies, and external disturbance. Peace blooms of its own accord and grace. When you find yourself swept up by your environment, pause to ask yourself, does this situation involve me directly? Is there a need for urgency? Am I picking up on the fears of others rather than my own? Let go of your need to control what's happening outside of you, such as an endeavor is doomed from the start. The only control you ever truly have is over yourself, over your own state of mind, your own inner calm, your own way of being. All right, Aquarius, that's what I have for you heading into May. Thank you so much for taking the time to hit that like and subscribe, but also to gain some guidance and insight into what May has in store for you. And I hope you appreciate these readings just as I appreciate you. And I wish you all the best today and always. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. You take care, Aquarius.